Do you ever stumble across an online article that just completely confounds you? You think, wow, that's not even remotely right. This happened to me. I recently came across this website, Zumper, who had a list of the best 8 places to live in Illinois, and let's just say I have some opinions about it, so I thought it might be fun to dig into it and see what you all think. Number 8, Champaign. Zumper refers to Champaign as a college town with cultural enrichment. I can't really argue with that description. It is connected to Urbana, where the University of Illinois is located, and there are cultural events that take place in the area. That area has the Krannert Center for live theatrical and musical performances, the State Farm Center for sporting events and concerts, and various museums. Zumper says this town features national chains and local operations that give it the unique feel of a big city in the middle of a prairie. I don't know that I would say Champaign has the feel of a big city. Traffic can be annoying when there's a football game day happening, but it's nothing compared to the major cities I've visited. But it is true that Champaign has both national chains and independent restaurants and stores. For many of us who live in the central part of the state, myself included, Champaign is where we go for shopping and dining when we want something our smaller towns and cities don't have, since it is the ninth largest city in the state with a population of 89,241. Another key selling point for Champaign is affordable rent. Zumper has the median rent as being $875. The Census Bureau has it a little bit higher at $969, and according to both Zillow and Apartments.com, you can find something in that price range, but a lot of the available rentals are marketed to students. Number 7, Aurora. Rich diversity and vibrant city life is how Zumper describes Aurora, and that's fairly accurate. It is the second largest city in Illinois after Chicago, with a population of 177,866, so it does have big city amenities that you wouldn't find in smaller communities. It does also have diversity. According to the Census Bureau, the demographic breakdown is 34.9% white only, 41.5% Hispanic or Latino, 10.9% Black, 10.3% Asian, and 12.9% two or more races. Zumper goes on to talk about how you can experience outdoor activities at the River Edge Park. What they don't mention is that if you do spend time outside in Aurora, you might have to worry about personal safety. According to the Aurora Police Department's website, shootings were up 20% from the previous year, so that's fun. The Zumper article also mentions being able to get a one-bedroom apartment for $1,275 as a plus for living in Aurora. That's true, I did find several rentals on Zillow for under that amount, but that doesn't necessarily make a good place to live. I'm also a little disappointed that it doesn't look a thing like how it was depicted in Wayne's World. Number 6, Naperville. Next door to Aurora is Naperville, which Zumper says has suburban charm and with abundant amenities. I would hope there are some amenities, since Naperville is the fourth largest city in the state, with 149,936 residents. They specifically mention that one of the amenities the city has is a Giordano's. For those of you not familiar with the northern part of Illinois, Giordano's is one of the deep dish pizza chains. I don't think that's the positive that Zumper thinks it is. I've had it, and I didn't think it was all that special. The crust reminded me of those Chef Boyardee pizza kits that you would get in the 80s if your parents didn't feel like putting in much effort with dinner. Naperville does have some really cool restaurants, museums, and entertainment options, though. One of the things that Zumper used in its methodology for finding the best places was the cost of a one-bedroom apartment, which they have as $1,600. You can find a few rentals for that price, but most of the ones I found start at $1,800. Don't get me wrong, this is the one city I agree is a good location to live in, but that's only if you can afford to, because this is also an affluent city. The median household income is almost twice that of the state's at $135,772, and if you want to buy a house, the average home value is $433,400. If you're not working in a high-paying position, this probably isn't the place for you. Number 5, Joliet. Zumper uses the word vibrant to describe Joliet. Out of all of the adjectives that exist, I don't think that would even be in the top 100 that I would use for Joliet. Crime-filled or violent would be the first. The violent crime rate for this city is 31% higher than the national average, and the chance of becoming a victim of a crime is 1 in 51, with Joliet being safer than only 22% of American cities. 751 violent crimes, including 18 murders, and 2,160 property crimes is a bit too much for my liking. Granted, this is the third largest city in Illinois, with 150,033 residents, but still. Zumper mentions the various entertainment options in Joliet, but as we've established, big cities tend to have more options, so that's not exactly surprising. You can get those things in other cities that don't have as much crime. The thing that Zumper really likes about Joliet is the affordability. They have the average rent as $1,050, and I actually found quite a few places for less than that, so they're right about that at least. Number 4, Chicago. Of course, they included Chicago. They called it the cultural hub of Illinois, and then went on to talk about the various entertainment and sporting options available. It's the third largest city in the country, so yeah, it has every imaginable amenity you could ever want. But does that make it a good place to live? Not for me. There's way too much traffic for me to ever want to live there, and it's not normal traffic. No, some of those drivers are lunatics. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll know that a few weeks ago I went up to Elk Grove Village to see Ann Wilson from the band Heart perform, and that meant that I had to go through Chicago. I wasn't sure I was going to survive. The things I saw, like a car that had gone up a tree, and somehow the people who had been inside were standing outside of it just fine, not a scratch on them. Or the cars that weaved in and out of lanes at 100 miles per hour. My life flashed before my eyes. And then there are the extra taxes that the city's residents pay. You know what? It might be easier if I just link my videos on why I don't recommend Chicago down below. Go check those out after you're done watching this one. But I have to ask, for the 2.6 million people who live inside the city limits, how do you do it? Number 3, Peoria. This is another big nope for me. Zumper says Peoria has affordable rent with a dash of entertainment. Just a dash? It's the 8th largest city in the state, with 111,021 residents, so I would hope it has more than just a dash of entertainment. Especially since there used to be a saying, "Will it play in Peoria?" from its vaudeville days. Zumper says the city's affordable rent prices make it an attractive option for individuals and families looking for budget-friendly living without compromising on entertainment opportunities. They say that a one-bedroom apartment averages $730, but that actually seems high from what I found on Zillow. There are 3-bedroom houses priced between $500 and $700, so if affordability is the only thing that matters to you, Peoria would fit that bill. However, you're probably going to have to deal with becoming a victim of some sort of crime if you choose to live there, because the chances are 1 in 21. Peoria is safer than only 3% of U.S. cities, thanks to a violent crime rate that's 169% above the national average, and a property crime rate that is 91% above the national average. Oh, and there's also a poverty rate of 19.7%. If you're looking for a cheap city or town in Illinois, pretty much anywhere downstate will fit the bill, so you can skip Peoria. Number 2, Springfield. Historical charm and cultural delights apparently make Springfield the place to be, according to Zumper. I will give them the point on history. Springfield does have an abundance of historical sites to visit, including Abraham Lincoln's old neighborhood, which is kind of cool. But what cultural delights do they list, you ask? The Arts Center, the Symphony Orchestra, and the State Fair. I can see their point on the first two, but how is the State Fair a cultural delight? Anyway, let's dissect the rest of their review. They say that one of the advantages to living in Springfield is the affordability, with the average rent at $700. Yeah, like I said before, most communities in the bottom 2/3 of the state are affordable. That doesn't make Springfield special, and it certainly doesn't make up for the 18.7% poverty rate or the insane crime. Violent crimes are 116% above the national average, and property crimes are 95% above the national average. They reported 950 violent crimes, including 11 murders, and 4,323 property crimes. That's with a population of 113,273, so the chance of becoming a victim is 1 in 22, and Springfield is safer than only 5% of U.S. cities. So here's what you do. You pop into town, visit the historical sites, and then leave. Number 1, Rockford. Seriously, Zumper? Your number 1 best place to live in Illinois is Rockford? Okay, let's see. Rockford has cultural riches and affordable rent, according to them. They have the average rent at $700, and that does seem accurate. Most of the places I found were priced between $550 and $700, so it is cheap, I'll give you that. As for cultural riches, they mentioned 2 museums and the Japanese gardens. But is that enough of a reason to live there? I don't think so. Rockford is one of the most dangerous cities in Illinois. It's actually one of the most dangerous cities in the country. I don't know about you, but I worry about my personal safety, and in a place where violent crimes are 296% above the national average, I would not feel safe at all. Your stuff would probably be safe at least, because the property crime rate is only 27% above the national average. But overall, the chance of becoming a victim is 1 in 25, and Rockford is safer than only 3% of U.S. cities, so pretty much anywhere is better than this place. If the crime isn't a problem for you, maybe not making a living wage is a reason to avoid this city. The median household income in Rockford is only $47,002. For comparison, the state's median is $72,563, and the national median is $69,021. Every data point indicates that this would be a depressing place to live. So, from what I can tell, this Zumper website took the list of the 9 largest cities in Illinois and just eliminated Elgin to come up with this list. I wouldn't recommend most of these places to someone looking to move to the state due to high crime and/or high poverty. But maybe I'm wrong. I know some of you live in these places, so let me know in the comments if you think Zumper got your city right when they included it in their best places, and if so, why you think it's a good place to live. I hope you enjoyed this video. If so, and you found value in it, hit the thumbs up, share it with someone who lives in one of these places, or subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. You can also leave a tip if you're so inclined, or follow me on social media. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, I remain stuck in the Kernfield.